Hi, it's me, your boyfriend slash girlfriend slash stay friend's favorite content creator. And I apologize for my setup right now. It's very bright outside for some reason in January. Um, Light's coming from here. It's a very light day today, but not for reasons you might think. I mean, yes, the light outside, but. You ever feel vindicated? You ever feel just like an overwhelming sense of joy through Schadenfreude? That's what happened to me yesterday. So, a little backstory about me, because it's the first time on this channel. I have an entire playlist dedicated to grifters, how they work, how it starting with the right-wing talking points infiltrating gaming, and how that's kind of spun out into this alt-right grifting mobility you see on gaming, YouTube, and Twitter, but pretty much everywhere else. Now, there are some people who like to call themselves like these main characters. They all think they're the main characters of this failed Gamergate 2.0. Now, I'm doing a lot of preamble because I want to build this up. These guys, for months, it feels like years, but it's been months, for months and months and months, have been banging the drum about how this evil, woke, leftist activists are ruining gaming, and it's their job to get us out. And once Trump's in office, that's game over. It's done. We lose, they win. They're winners. Unfortunately, Trump is in office. He was just certified today. And yet, it doesn't feel much like a victory for them, because now that they don't have us awful, terrible leftists to go after, they are cannibalizing themselves. First things first, I find it funny that the people who claim to hate censorship with gaming are real big fans of censoring games, just as long as it aligns with their ideals. Because Melanie Mac and her ilk are going at it. Her, that loser guy Smash JT, the other loser, the Quartering, the other loser, Razor Fist, all of them are fighting. They're all fighting because Melanie Mac thinks that games are a little too sexy now, which is ironic because when those points were being made last year in regards to like Stellar Blade, and not necessarily how much she's too sexy, but rather that's all they have to offer from the character standpoint. And maybe you can do more with the character beyond them being sexy, like 2B, like Bayonetta, like Lara Croft. Like, you can do more than that. We got called babies. We got called anti-women. We hate beautiful and we hate attractive women by people, including Melanie Mac. But now she's on the receiving end of this. And it is getting nasty. They are going deep on her. They're talking about how she was a grifter in the past, how she used to be all pro like LGBTQ, and now she's doing all this stuff. Again, things I've covered. But now you toss in people like Smash JT, the Quartering, Razor Fist. Now you see how they operate. All of these people are fighting because they don't have us to fight against. They can't go against Avowed because it hasn't come out yet, and it's going to be a success and they're going to just move on, but they can't have that. They have nothing. So they attack each other. So of course they start with the woman. I don't know if you guys noticed, but they are a very misogynistic group. They only view women, whether digitally or in real life, as objects. If you can't get them off, you have no reason to being around them. That's how they feel, which is why they're mad at Melanie Mac, because she's trying to tell them to get rid of the sexy characters. And I guess I have to defend Melanie Mac a little bit. I don't think she's necessarily saying that they all have to go, but there could be a balance, right? I mean, even I've said as much. You can have games where there's people who are sexy and stuff, but that shouldn't be the end all be all. And all this started because she is not a big fan of the First Descendant. But she's not alone. That game has lost the majority of its fan base, or at least its player base, in a very short time. But the Gooners are Gooners, so they are fighting her on that front. And that's just one aspect of it. Because of that, now you have people like the Quartering and Smash JT going at it and leaving tweets towards each other and going back and forth. And I'm just sitting here, popcorn in hand, just watching all of this unfold. Grum's nowhere to be found. Why? Because instead of paying attention to this, he wants to pay attention to a game that no one cares about called Code Violet that's not coming to PC because they don't want their characters to be like modded with vulgarity. And the irony here is this is the same group, the same exact group who will tell you that us leftists, us people on the left, we wokies, we activists, that we are constantly trying to tell developers and directors how to run their games and what to do. And yet when a developer says this, they attack them because like, oh, what? You're too good. You don't want to go on PC, yada, yada, yada. I'm like, what happened to letting them make the game they want to make and directing it how they want to direct it and releasing how they want to release it? Now, the game itself, the company Team Kill, Team Kill Team, whatever, they do this all the time. I don't think they have a big budget, so they just make up controversy. They did this their last game by saying it couldn't run on Xbox or whatever, making Xbox is inferior for their platform. And now they're doing it again to drum up interest. So in the game release, they can get a couple of dollars. That's it. The game doesn't even look good, like at all. And the plot's stupid. But again, instead of talking about how, people within his group are trying to censor each other and fighting, because that's supposedly what he stands for, he's focusing on that. They're focusing on Code Violet. And I am making this video because I want you guys to know this was always going to be the outcome. I've said this hundreds of times. They are going to self-cannibalize each other because all they do is parrot one another's talking points. So whenever someone disagrees with them, that becomes a new target. Don't believe me? Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Now, this game was originally created by, one of the people who helped create is Daniel Vavra, and he is an OG Gamergater. He was there during that time on the side of Gamergate. And I believe he still holds those values to be true. And he has been on these people's sides for a long time. So when he made that post talking about Dragon Age, not even inadvertently, subtweeting or talking about how, wow, his game that came out 7 years ago is doing better than that game. But, I don't know why everyone's being so mean to me. I'm just, stating a fact. Yeah, he's their new target now. Why? Because there's a black person and you can have gay sex in this new game. Like, he is having to deal with neo-Nazis because that's the side of people, the kind of people who join that side. Because all they want to do is control games and tell people what they can and can't play. And they want people to only play games that have white, straight people in it or like big titty women. That's it. So it's you have gooners and you have a racist on that side. And for some reason, they couldn't see that until it happens to them. But now he has to deal with neo-Nazis. And now I'm seeing people like Grums having to fucking cope with the fact that, no, it's okay. This is not woke. It's not woke, you guys. It's not woke because, even though it's a black person and, it's set in a time period where they believe black people don't exist, but even though there's a black person there, he's definitely a fish out of water. And also you can have gay sex, but it's like BioWare, like Mass Effect. We have to do a series of skill checks. As if they weren't calling BioWare the same company that just put out Dragon Age woke. Do you see how this works? Do you see how all the videos I've made and I've talked to you guys about how grifting works, how this is just like the perfect example. Something was woke 2 seconds ago and now it's not woke because they like the game. They want Kingdom Come Deliverance to do well because they like Daniel because he's on their side. But he's putting elements in the game that they would very clearly call woke had it been done by Ubisoft, BioWare, EA, literally anyone else. So they're at an impasse. So what do? They changed the rules. It's not woke anymore. Gay sex in games, not woke. Having black people in time periods where they believe are predominantly white, not woke. So I guess now Assassin's Creed's not woke anymore, right? Because potentially Yasuke and Naoe could be bisexual. And, Yasuke's black in Japan. So not woke anymore, right? Or is that still woke? It just depends on if they like the game or not, which is so stupid, but that's how they operate. And I'm just loving this. I'm loving the fact that the leopards will never go hungry, because these people are blights in our communities. They do nothing but farm drama and cause outrage. Ironically, they are accusing each other of doing that. Both Grums and Melanie Mac have saying that, you know what, I don't want to get into this because people are just trying to manufacture drama and outrage. As if they themselves don't do that on a daily basis. As if Melanie Mac doesn't have countless of drama farming video. As if Grums doesn't have a near like fucking bibliography of just tweets of harassing and doxing and trying to cause drama and attacking people. Like, the level of cognitive dissonance that's happening here is unfathomable, but it's also super hilarious. I was playing Fortnite with my friends yesterday when this shit happened, and we were just going back and forth just watching it because it was hilarious. Because, like I said, I was playing with my friends, the other woke leftists, including one of them, Airbagged, who got his account canceled, and so there's a fan account being ran by not him. We were playing together, and we're just going back and forth, and it's like, we can all play together and have disagreements and still play with each other and have a great time and hang out. Those guys can't. If they disagree with each other, it's content. Like, not a serious example, but when I was talking to my friends, we had a discussion a long time ago talking about like Metal Gear Solid, and I said that I prefer Metal Gear Solid 4 over 5 because I feel like it was much more of a story. And they're like, what? The freedom of exploration of Metal Gear Solid 5 and do what you want. I'm like, yeah, I get that, but it wasn't for me. And that's that. We had a discussion, we kept it pushing, we had fun, we laughed. These guys, they have each other's access. They have access to each other immediately. They can message each other privately. They could DM, they could probably text, but do they choose to do that? No. Because everything's content for them. And when your life is content above all else, this is where you end up. People who you thought were your friends are now using you for content and calling you out of your name. And again, it's no surprise that Melanie Mac is getting the brunt of it, because Melanie Mac is a woman. If you are a woman in this space, you automatically have to be on guard, no matter what side you're on. But if you are on the side of anti-woke, you shouldn't be, completely honest. Because they don't like you or want you. They just like the idea of you. Like the idea of a woman who they deem to be attractive is on their side, so they can spew their bullshit. But the minute you step out of line, like Melanie did, this is what happens. Everyone's coming for you. Everyone's calling you horrible names. Everyone's digging in your past. Everyone's turning on you. So this is kind of like a PSA, fable tale video, whatever you want to call it. But I am still finding this to be hilarious. I think it's great. It's great because now you guys can see who these people are and what they're about. None of them care about fucking video games. None of them do. Not a single one of them cares about video games. They care about the drama they can farm and the money they can make talking about it. But they don't care about games at all. Not even a little bit. Because again, these are the people who are lamenting how you can't play games with masculine leads and how white guys are always done as stupid people and whatever. I was just playing the first Berserker. I streamed it. Good times. Have they even mentioned it? That's a game up their alley. Have they mentioned it? No. Why? Because they're busy talking about how Avowed was going to be bad, or now they're busy talking about how Code Violet. They're just busy talking about these games that they are not going to play. And I'm going to go a step further and say these are games they never played to begin with. I don't think the people talking about Kingdom Come Deliverance ever played the first game. What they do is they go and they look for shit they can talk about. They're going to look for a black character being in a game or queer characters being in a game. And they're not going to take into account what the story being told is. They are not creatives. They don't know anything about a collaborative process. They don't know anything about how sometimes it's very, very restrictive to have to fit a particular story, a particular like world around the story. Creatives love having the shackles taken off. They love being able to write the story they want to write, create the game they want to create. And those people, the anti-woke people, claim to love that. They want developers and producers and directors to have all this freedom. And yet when they utilize that freedom, because they didn't use the freedom the way they wanted them to, it's bad, it's woke, let's go into a fight. These are anti-gamers. They're anti-gamers, anti-art, they're anti-creativity. So you should listen to them. So if I have some chance, Daniel, you're watching this, Warhorse Studios, maybe don't court Nazis. Maybe don't court these people who don't understand how the creative process works. Maybe you shouldn't try to appeal to these guys who literally never play these games. They never play these games. They only talk about it in passing, but they never play it. Don't care to them. Create the story you want to create. Use your own vision. And for you grifters who are doing all this stuff or who want to get on this, let this be a lesson to you. There is no safety. There is no a floor you can go to. They will continuously dig down into hell in order to make content, in order to stay relevant. It is nothing but crabs in a barrel. And the barrel is deep.